Good day, Miss Andrea Faith Iso. So this is my report blog about biodiversity. So what is biodiversity? Biodiversity refers to the variety of living organisms found in a particular habitat or ecosystem. It encompasses the multitude of species, their genetic diversity, and the ecosystem they form. Biodiversity plays a crucial role in creating and maintaining a healthy society, benefiting both human well-being and the environment. Importance of biodiversity and direct and indirect contribution to building a healthy society. Environmental service, food security, medical resources and human health, economic benefits, cultural and physiological importance. Environmental service. Biodiversity provides numerous environmental services that are critical for a healthy society. Their service includes ecosystem stability. Biodiverse ecosystems are more resilient and can better withstand environmental changes such as climate fluctuation, natural disasters, and disease outbreaks. Second, climate regulation. Forests, wetlands, and oceans, among other ecosystems, help regulate climate by absorbing and storing carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas responsible for global warming. Last, water cycle. Biodiversity ecosystem contribute the water cycle by capturing, filtering, and storing water, ensuring a clean and sustainable water supply for humans and wildlife. Food security. Biodiversity is closely linked to food security. Agricultural biodiversity, including crops, livestock, and wild edible plants, provides a diverse range of nutrients necessary for human nutrition. The genetic diversity within and between species is vital for breeding resilient crops that can adapt to changing climate conditions and resist disease. Medical resources and human health. Biodiversity is a source of natural medicines, providing the basis for many pharmaceuticals used worldwide. Indigenous knowledge combined with modern science have resulted in the discovery of countless medicinal plants and compounds. Preserving biodiversity crucial for ensuring access to potential future treatment and maintaining human health. Economic benefits. Biodiversity forms the basis for various economic activities and industries. Ecotourism, for example, relies on the preservation of diverse ecosystems, attracting tourists and generating income for local communities. Additionally, biological resources contribute to the development of sustainable industries such as agriculture, fisheries, and forestry. Cultural and physiological importance. Biodiversity is deeply intertwined with cultural practice and tradition around the world. Indigenous communities, for instance, often have close relationship with their local ecosystem, relying on biodiversity for their spiritual, cultural, and social well-being. The loss of biodiversity can impact cultural identity and mental well-being, emphasizing the importance of preserving it. Change in biodiversity. Alternation in any system could bring varied effects. A change in biodiversity could have erratic effects not only in wildlife or marine life but also in human beings. For example, humans inhabiting the forest would disturb the natural order of life. Trees and plants would be affected in the land. Clearing operation where the houses would be built. The animals, insects, and all types of life forms could affect the entire ecosystem governing the environment. The changes in biodiversity can have various effects on both ecosystem and human societies. Here are some of the main consequences. Ecosystem disruption. When biodiversity decreases or becomes imbalanced, it can disrupt the functioning of ecosystem. Species play vital roles in maintaining the balance of various ecological processes such as nutrient cycling, pollination, and pest control. Reduction in biodiversity can lead to the loss of these ecosystem service, compromising the stability and resilience of ecosystems. Second, decline in food security. Biodiversity loss can negatively impact food production and availability. Many food crops rely on pollinators such as bees and butterflies for reproduction. With a decline in pollinator population, there is potential decrease in crop yields. Additionally, biodiversity loss can lead to decreased genetic diversity in crop varieties, making them more susceptible to disease and pests. Third, impact on human health. Biodiversity is closely intertwined with human health. Loss of biodiversity can disrupt the delicate balance between pathogens, vectors, and their hosts. They can lead to an increase in infectious disease such as zoonotic disease. Furthermore, many medicine and pharmaceuticals are derived from natural sources, so the loss of biodiversity can limit potential discoveries of new drugs. Fourth, economic consequences. Biodiversity loss can have significant economic impacts. Many industries such as agriculture, forestry, and fisheries rely on the health and stability of ecosystem for their productivity. Reduced biodiversity can result in reduced crop yields, decreased fish stocks, and other natural resources shortage, causing economic losses for those sectors. Fifth, cultural and aesthetic loss. Biodiversity is often intertwined with cultural traditions and practices. Indigenous cultures, for example, often have deep connection with their surrounding ecosystem and rely on them for their livelihoods and cultural identity. Loss of biodiversity can lead to the erosion of indigenous knowledge, cultural practice, and sacred sites. 6. Disruption of ecological relationships. Biodiversity can loss disrupt complex ecological relationships and lead to ecological imbalances. For example, the loss of top predators can trigger an increase in the population of their prey species, which in turn can have cascading effects on other species and ecosystem dynamics. 7. Negative feedback loops. Biodiversity loss can create negative feedback loops that further exacerbate the problem. For instance, as biodiversity decreases, ecosystems become less resilient and less able to adapt to environmental changes, increasing the likelihood of further biodiversity loss. Overall, the effects of changes in biodiversity are far-reaching and can impact ecological, social, and economic aspects of our planet. It is crucial to prioritize conservation efforts to mitigate these effects and promote biodiversity conservation and restoration. Threats to biodiversity. There are major threats to biodiversity that were identified by the United Nations Environment Program. These are the following: habitat loss and destruction, alternation to ecosystem composition, overexploitation, pollution and contamination, global climate change. Habitat loss and destruction. Major contributing factor is the inhabitation of human beings and the use of land and economic gains. Alternation in ecosystem composition. Sudden changes, either within species groups or within environment, could begin to change the entire ecosystems. Alternation in ecosystem are a critical factor contributing to species and habitat loss. Overexploitation, overhunting, overfishing, or overcollecting of species can quickly lead us to its decline. Changing consumption patterns of human is often cited as the key reason for this unsustainable exploitation of natural resources. Pollution and contamination. Biogeological systems respond slowly to change to their surroundings. Pollution and contamination cause irreversible damage to species and varieties. Global climate change. Both climate variability and climate change caused by diversity loss. Species and population may be lost permanently if they are not provided with enough time to adapt to climate changing conditions. Solution to the threats of biodiversity. Habitat loss and destruction. The cure this problem is depend on policy and implementation of laws. For one, corporations and companies can take up the wise practice of refusing to use paper and timber products that encourage deforestation. Likewise, awareness creation should be done so that consumers can desist from supporting companies or manufacturers that can use timber and paper to make their products, and most importantly, those that utilize unsustainable natural resources extraction or manufacturing processes. Government and regulatory agencies should also take the lead in ensuring the enactment of stronger forest protection laws and policies. Individuals and organizations can also participate by support environmental conservation through charities and creating awareness. Overexploitation, continued awareness creation, and conservation are the main strategies for managing overexploitation, particularly pertaining to overfishing, overharvesting, and poaching. Relevant environmental protection agencies and government also needs to implement rules curtailing practices that cause overexploitation of resources. Individual efforts should aim towards being mindful of the products we consume and buy. Pollution and contamination. There are a number of ways for curing pollution. Anti-pollution laws and policies at the local, state, and international level are the most practical for curing pollution as they play a critical role in restricting pollution. Individuals can also take a number of initiatives to fight water, air, and land pollution by embracing effective actions such as conserving energy at home, recycling, use of safe and non-toxic products, and using public transport. Global climate change. Climate change is mostly worst problem of the biodiversity because of human activities with regards to destroying carbon sinks and their dependency on using fossil fuels. Hence, if effective actions can be taken to reduce the amount of carbon footprint, the world can be assured of a better tomorrow and less worries about climate change. Hence, if we'll reduce the use of transportation, fossil fuels, and diesels by walking and cycling to prevent greenhouse gas emission. So that's all for my report vlog, ma'am. Thank you and God bless.